Well, hell, let's just jump right into another one. As I'm reading through daily stuff, history's going in backward, in reverse, right? It's the same but different, but trying to balance itself out. On this day, the papal bull was signed by Pope Innocent the something or other, I think the eighth, declared condemned witchcraft. Well, apparently today, yeah, which craft is everyone riding on if there's only one aisle and one man and one boat and everybody's trying to get at it, and I don't know, a bunch of two-timing shit going on around the sides. But nobody can stand in the same spot as anyone else. Well, and except for my daughter, because I'll let her dance on my feet. She wouldn't have to pick hers up. All my daughters. Once. As has them. Life is all about opportunities and options. At the same time as you make your own opportunities and there is no option. You're the real deal. And that's the weird thing. So the easy method that everyone does is, so I think I have this, so then I'll shrink myself down what seems like just a little bit, and then I'll fit in with the group that's like me. And then I'll have everything I want, and I get to be me too. And even if I do things separately, I'll keep that separate, and then I'll have the best of both worlds. Which, in some ways, I think that everyone does that to some degree. I mean, that's in a weird way the essence of relationships. It seems that there's gonna be things that drive each other nuts, and you just agree. Well, it's best if I don't tell her, she doesn't tell me. Oh, that's gonna cause problems. Well, okay, but if I bring it up, it might end everything now, or it just might be that one hair that breaks the camel's back in 20 years, even though it was no issue at all. It just gets brought it up. I don't know. But then there's the other side of things where you come back around on yourself and you're like, everything I hate about certain things, they're starting to look actually pretty good over there. They might have had something figured out I didn't already have figured out. Like there was something in history about Jehovah's Witnesses today. I don't know what it was. Yeah, well, it's got the same initials as me. And they don't celebrate birthdays. Hell, nobody celebrates my birthday. That's just something we got in common. But I celebrate everyone's birthday, if I can. I mean, I have all kinds of people's birthdays marked on a calendar, on a timeline in my closet, like probably 50 people or more. Some people I've never met. Some people I know. People I've just made acquaintances with and met one time. All kinds of people. And finding synchronicities within the universe based upon everybody I meet. But it's not about me. I mean, it's obviously about them. But they just came and left. And I'm still here. But they're still here too, because I'm the one who keeps them in their remembrance and believes that they're important even if I never see them again. So I guess that's a pretty good job, right? And in my phone, there's like 20 days a year that it comes up and reminds me somebody I've never met and probably never going to meet, that probably doesn't give a shit about me and wouldn't give me $1 on the street, whether I was the fucking Pope or begging for a scrap, And I got all their birthdays, but nobody remembers my birthday. If they do, they do with a certain kind of something. Some kind of lack of pizzazz, yeah. Well, So I was thinking, you know, lately a lot of times, about half of the commercial, maybe a quarter of the commercials, they bring up the Mormons, the Book of Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints, or whatever. I'm like, huh. There's all kinds of little issues there. And then there's this joke of like the Donner Party and getting caught up in the mountains and having to eat each other, and then the ones that survived ended up creating the Mormons. That's kind of a weird parable, I find on my timeline, and this thing, like, I believe in absolutely in monogamy, absolutely, but you can absolutely love more than one person, absolutely, and like it's all a mindset, and it's about it being framed appropriately and all the things to be agreed upon to begin with. If you know the rules and the agreement, and it's not going to change, and everyone's secure, then that's a real partnership. That's based on some serious money. And so everyone knocks on the Mormons for the possibility of having multiple wives. And it really takes has nothing to do with any kind of pride or whatever that I have, but I've always thought, God damn, like I could in the past I think, shit, like I could give one woman all my attention and still not be enough for her. No matter how good I am, she'll get bored with having too much attention. And the other part is how women always need girlfriends. And then their girlfriends fill their heads with ideas and shit and throw them off course. And at the same time, how I love dating. And in a fantasy perfect world, I can imagine now the possibility of being a Mormon. That, well, at the end of the day, if I'm just Mr. Farmer Josh Nobody, and well, all the singers, they got my money. Hey, dirty, baby, I got your money. Unless you sing it back to me, you ain't coming, honey. Okay, well, keep singing then. We just won't have any radio in my house. My daughters won't ever hear about your kind of music, because we're Mormons. We don't listen to music. Not unless we play it on our own drums in our own house, right, kids? Right, 50 kids? That's right. And the idea of having multiple wives. And it takes a lot of pressure off of each wife, of it being like, in a special way, it degrades the man, but puts him on top. In a special way, it degrades the woman equally, the way that it should be in a certain way, and then brings them on top and on the bottom and equal, and then it elevates the children to be this balance that's going like this, and the man is the very top and the very bottom. Really, he's fucking trapped. He's in the madhouse, and everyone is on his case, but who's on his case? Like, he can only be so many places at once. I mean, if every woman is doing an inventory of the house each day, and one's like, the light in the bathroom's out. Okay. On the way to the bathroom, the next one's like, the kitchen sink stopped up. Okay. And this is the kitchen sink stopped up. And like, even if that was his job all day long, it wouldn't be very long before they'd all be in the sack together. Like, how many jobs can you come up with in the house, especially if you have more than 2 people? So fucking content creating motherfuckers. Shit, this should start rolling. The whole smoke should be rolling out of that fucking house like no other. Especially if there was a sleeping schedule or a daily schedule, so that there could only be so much horseplay, because there has to be respect and maintained in a house like that. There has to be a certain way. Otherwise, it easily can cause contention because there has to have a perfect balance of power where it mostly you're on a date with all of your wives every day, and you have to have separate bedrooms and have some kind of clause uh for emergency cases, kind of like a counsel for the house. And so every wife, those are the speakers of the house. The president, he barely has any vote. He can just be like, well, so um I got 7 wives, I got 7 days, and hmm, like uh on Sunday I wanted to be out of town, but that's Meredith's day. We can't reschedule days because I might be dead on Monday if I go hunting with Dave. You know how Dave is. Um, can we reconcile Saturday or Thursday? Well, and move Meredith on this Thursday and split the day with Sue because Sue's busy anyway, and maybe she's on her period or whatever, and she just wants some cuddle time instead of anything. Okay, because we're all ladies here, we're all adults, like we're one family, like everybody just needs to be out with their shit. We all know that Marcia hates it when anybody does this, and then every time somebody does that, it's like, oh God, here comes Marcia. I told you guys. Yeah, see, okay. Marcia, could you please work on not being so uptight about that? We love you. And we try not to be on you so hard about being uptight about that. We're sorry. You know? And the family just has to grow like that. We're all adults, we're all children. We have to grow together. Any fight that there is, it has to be settled in the house. They can't spill outdoors. It's none of their fucking business. They don't know shit. They can't manage one person, much less a multiplicity at one person. And so it would take a very unique and specialized kind of situation that has been thought out for that to work. But ideally, if that could be possible, that is the ideal situation. Not to be the billionaire that sleeps with everyone or that has one wife necessarily and 20 kids. There are benefits to those, but this above is below thing. So then that man's power gets transferred to the ground through all of his children, and all of his children get the benefit of a community. Plus, are trained in all different crazy stuff. They're all creative. You have all creative wives that are all different. Like, what guy just wants like a whole line of only Saudi Arabian sex slaves? Like they all look the same. They all have one skill. This one. I mean, obviously that's the smallest thing in a family. That's the smallest thing in a relationship. And a relationship has to do with it evolving and growing each day. And whether with or without Christ, that is how a house is managed. Is with that kind of understanding and that kind of grace, that kind of commitment, that kind of planning, that kind of faith and groupthink, where all the bases have to be covered from the people within. So in a way, the more the merrier, but we don't want to be too merry. And well, Mary was a virgin and she ain't gonna be here because, well, we're married, so we've consummated this shit. So the mother jokes aside, what bitch? What bitch? Not calling you bitch. Not calling. Who's her? Right? What did she? Who says? Oh, that's what she says. See, that's a funny thing. Oh, so what you telling on your wife? Are you admitting you go behind your wife's back? Or are you alluding to some magical bitch? That's you got like a demon possession or something? A burn in your pocket? Who's she? And why can't you speak for yourself, man? That's what she says. Well, what if that's what she says, then what do you say? If I say what she says, then what do you say to her? And what are you saying to me, man? Huh? You girl pair. Talk to me, man. It's not that hard to figure out. But truly, a man has to be respected by his wife, and in some way, she has to be subservient. But that's a stupid word, because ultimately, each has to submit to each other. Whether it's one marriage or 4 marriages or whatever, a union has an agreement, and it has nothing to do with the outside world. It only has to do with the agreement of the parties involved. That's the agreement. If the law says, for instance, you can only have one wife, well, what is the definition of one wife? And what is the definition of the word you? Well, what is the definition of these things? We find that in legal terminology, everything means something else. Okay. And the whole idea of a marriage has to do with a business. Well, so then you can make a business. You sit down, and however, there's a lot of ways to do it. You sit down and petition the parties involved and be like, so this is what I was thinking. But more than thinking, you can read it and we can talk about it separately and together, and then together. And then we can go to our corners, make amendments, come back together and see, okay, can we come to a resolution that's going to work? Where we can put down the first stone, the last stone, the beginning, the company. How does this move forward? Now we're partners. Where do we sign at? How do we list that document legally to protect all our assets? Because we are a man. We don't have no assets. That's a man ass. That's not a girl ass. That's a man ass. And a mayonnaise. And so yeah. So but nothing says you can't have multiple partners. Because, well, who's going around like checking like how many people you slept with? You slept with more than one person today. Oh, here's a felony ticket. No. What? But if you walk up to him and you're like, hey, I'll give you $100 to have sex with me, you're under arrest. What the fuck? I was asking her to dinner. Bullshit. You asked her for sex. What the fuck is what the hell's up with the law? Okay. What if I have 7 women and we all sign a business document that we're going to buy this house, this 12-room house, and we're going to use that as our business base, and we're going to work out of this house as a corporate entity, and what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, motherfuckers. There's our money. Bye.